EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Today, we've got a Week 5 matchup in store here, as it'll be the New York Jets taking on the Denver Broncos. And off we go from Denver.
Tempo.
A man who was lost for the year in Week 4 last season. Here's Javonte Williams. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That's a start they can live with. 15 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Play action. Now Wilson. Runs over. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Now Wilson on first down. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams, there to bring him down. He probably feels like he cannot get a break. He was sacked 7 times last week. And here we go again in the first quarter.
And we always talk about the internal clock of a quarterback in the pocket and how he has to have a real keen sense of it in order to get rid of the football. After being sacked 7 times last week, that clock has been sped up.
Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves him with 14 yards still to go on 3rd down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Carl Lawson able to record his 5th sack of the season. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Rodgers and the Jets now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. Oh, did the Jets miss this guy? Here's Breece Hall. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. This defense for the Broncos, they had certainly had their struggles to start the season, but they put it all together in getting that first victory a week ago.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Now it's Rodgers. He completes that to Garrett Wilson. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A gain there of 21 yards. clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And he'll find Hall. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Moore, the man in motion. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Now a 2nd and 6. Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. They'll bring a receiver in motion right.
26. Go to 50. Hey, you block over here.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
Now they bring a receiver in motion right. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. And he is in. Touchdown, New York. Elijah Moore. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jets are on the board first here this afternoon. Zerline connects on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. You talk about this Jets defense. They were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to him.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Third and 19. Now Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by DJ Reed. And the Jets are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right?
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
Wilson and the Broncos now with a 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 and a Jet touchdown. Zerline now for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. And that flag accepted. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Back to the air, Wilson after the pick 6. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Carl Lawson, that is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Play action. It's Wilson. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
And the pressure gets to him again. Carl Lawson. The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays. Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Here's more on the return. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. A give running right is Hall. Taken down at the 47-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
From the 47 now, they work with a 2nd and 7. Rodgers going to throw. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him the first.
Well, here's your first example of how this guy can beat you in more ways than one, because they took away his arm, but he was more than happy to dissect them with his legs for that first down pickup.
They run it with Hall off the option. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. DJ Jones breaking through to get him to the ground. It's a loss of 7. So here's a 3rd and 14. To throw is Rodgers. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Baron Browning, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down. On 4th down, here's the veteran Thomas Morstead to punt for the Jets. KJ Hamler deep for the Broncos. Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. It'll be a 40-yard punt, 8 on the return, and it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. They had 3 yards on 1st down, just 1 yard there.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. They go play action now. Wilson. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Here's Riley Dixon now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Returning it is Moore. A punt of 46, a return of 5. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Here's 2nd and 10. Moore, the man in motion. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
This now a 3rd and 4. Moore, the man in motion. Now Rodgers. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. Picked off by Drew Sanders. And the Broncos will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
He's got Dulcich going across the formation. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. On 1st down, Wilson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
They go play action with Wilson. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Under pressure, they got him again. It's a loss of 4 on what ought to be the final act of this first half. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 the score as we get rolling again here in this second half. Here's Elijah Moore now bringing it out of his end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
2nd and 10.
Hey, take 26. Go to 50.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A little bit of space there for the first down run as that's going to get him about 5 yards. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 37.
26.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
Allen has improved himself every chance he could and increased his sack total each of his 4 years with the Cardinals. Now with the Broncos, they're counting on a breakout being right around the corner.
Here's 3rd and 10.
Go to 50. Hey, you block over here.
On play action, Rodgers. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 42. A gain of 26 on the 3rd down conversion. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 42-yard line. Now Rodgers going to shift him around. Moore, the man in motion. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Hey, 88, big 30.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. In motion right is Wilson. And again, it's Rodgers. Pressure comes, and down he goes. DJ Jones picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and this will remain a 2-touchdown game. So they tried the 59-yarder and missed it, and now this offense starts just 1 yard shy of midfield. They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. Past the 20, 5, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Javonte Williams His third rushing touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are back within a score. Lutz with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. The tackle made there by Drew Sanders.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That incompletion certainly makes this upcoming 3rd down a little bit more crucial. They need to find the right play to convert here and maybe start to tamp down a little bit of momentum. The other side is starting to gain.
In motion right, that's Wilson. Rodgers now to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Rodgers now on 1st down. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now it's Rodgers. And check down, complete to Hall. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 43 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. Second down and 3. And they'll give to Abanikanda on the option. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players. but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they always post it in there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,280 feet. The air is rare.
And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
As I take a look at the clock, I realize that this drive has eaten up a good portion of the fourth quarter already. Got to tell you, partner, when you're trying to salt away a game, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like.
They'll run with Hall. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. Stuck for a loss by the linebacker, Josie Jewell.
Well, that was not what you would call straight line pursuit for a middle linebacker to make this play. He's got to work his way through the clutter to get to the ball carrier on the outside, and he does exactly that. That's called avoiding the trash.
On second down, a run with Hall. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. He picks up 7 yards there, but they're still faced with a difficult 3rd and goal here.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
So that's, CD, an important one here in the fourth quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
14.
Play action. Now Wilson. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. The offense on 3rd down tonight, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
You have to figure with this offense on 2nd and inches, they're in ideal shape, but then they end up getting an incompletion, a run stuffed on 3rd and inches, and you look around and say, how did it become 4th down?
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Spot that. Start.
They'll try and run for it. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. So he needed 1. He ended up getting 3.
And I really like the way he ran that one, too. That's really intelligent running because oftentimes a running back could get too greedy. Try and hit the home run on a play where you just need a few yards. Well done there, making sure you got the first down and not worrying about trying to get a touchdown.
So the completion good for just 3. And that will bring up 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Now it's Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack.
Well, partner, I would say just avoid play action, but that's not just been the problem. This defense, they've been getting pressure on all types of pass plays and really piling up the sacks in this contest.
He'll air this one out for Mims. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Going for the knockout blow right there. I think if I'm up 2 scores, I'd be worried about an interception, but playing this way is what got them this lead. So you may as well ride it out to the end.
Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead, but that was a drive that was so long it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game, but we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points,
but
and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. After this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
Brought down around the 16 or 17, showing some tough running there. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Hey, take 26. Go to 50.
To throw is Rodgers. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Hamler now on the return. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Wilson to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
That was one they needed to connect on. They're down, but not quite out. So you have to figure, with under 2 minutes to play, they need to hit on something in very short order.
Here comes 2nd down. Throwing now is Wilson. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Jermaine Johnson credited with that sack.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. I don't know how well our microphones are picking it up for those of you at home, but Charles, you and I can hear it. A lot of groans right now coming from this crowd.
I don't know if we're picking up what's happening in the stadium or from the people who are supporting this team at home, because it's coming through loud and clear to you and me. This offense, they've been stuck in neutral much of the game, and on that last play, they actually went in reverse. I think this crowd would have liked neutral, don't you?
Yeah, neutral would have strongly been preferred. They'll take anything positive at this point. So it's a victory here for the New York Jets, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Jets, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs.